Welcome to Backyard Cigars. When I went to Philadelphia not long ago and I smoked a Phillies Titan in Philadelphia, one of the things that I did was I also checked out one of the local tobacconists in the area, SJ Cigars. And SJ Cigars was my one and only stop for cigars during my trip. What I'm holding here is the Crown Vintage Red Double Toro. It's 6.5 by 56, and the specs on it, I can't share too much in regards to the specs. It pretty much says that it is a blend of Nicaraguan and Dominican tobaccos. I spoke with the manager on shift that day, named Rocco, who was so helpful and such a nice guy. And Rocco said the majority of the filler is Dominican, and he kind of left it at that. So I could tell that he wasn't really sure. Was the wrapper Nicaraguan? Was the wrapper Dominican? Was the binder Dominican? Well, I'm going to give you my guess, and perhaps I can call Rocco back, as I have in the past, and try to get more information from him. Now, this Crown Vintage Red is the darkest of the Crown Vintage series by SJ Cigars. And I've been having a good time with it so far. It just dropped the first inch of cigar perhaps 5 minutes ago, and a lot of nice sweet tobacco flavors. That's what I've been getting so far. And that little first inch, it started off really well, so it holds a lot of promise for me. My guess is that the wrapper is Nicaraguan. My guess. My second guess is that the binder and the filler are Dominican. It's my second guess. I don't know if this is true. The only thing I can confirm is that there is a blend of Dominican and Nicaraguan tobaccos in this cigar. Now, it's got that Big Boss cigar feel to it. 6.5 by 56. It's impressive. It's got a dark, oily wrapper. See if you can see it. There you go. Man, it's letting off some smoke, eh? But, I mean, I'll just read some notes that I have here. SJ Cigars was formed and founded in 1996 by Yaniv and Susan Levy. And their original spot, which is the one I visited with the big jumbo cigar on the outside of the establishment at 524 South 3rd Street in Philadelphia. SJ is obviously very highly rated in Philadelphia, and they opened the second location in 2002, and in 2003 they were awarded the best tobacconist by the Mainline Times. And that's what I have from them. Additionally, what I know about them. What do I know about them? Additionally, what I know is that their operation is similar to other operations in that they've gone as far as to partner up and purchase or take control and ownership of a farm in the Dominican Republic. And at this farm, they have pretty much formed an alliance with the people who grow the tobacco there. And they grow the tobacco and they craft the cigars for Yaniv and Susan Levy. Now, they have a lot of input into what kind of cigar they want made. So they sit down with the blender sit down with everyone involved in the process and formulate a plan to craft a cigar. Obviously, they have the final word on what gets put out and how it gets made because they own the business, they own the brand. But they also have a lot of control at that particular farm. I don't know the name of the farm right now. Rocco did tell me the name of the farm, but that's irrelevant right now because we're reviewing the cigar. We know that SJ Cigars has the majority of their cigars are Dominican based. The majority of the filler that goes into their cigars is Dominican. And I believe they even had a couple of Dominican puros, which I did not purchase, but will purchase at a later time. So they, at their original location, they did used to have a lounge in the back, but COVID kind of shut that down, and then they shut it down indefinitely because it just wasn't working out. The amount of people that were allowed to be there and the COVID protocols just wasn't working in their favor. It wasn't good for their bottom line, and that's fine. You have to do what you have to do to stay in business. So what can I tell you about the Crown Vintage Red? The Crown Vintage Red is impressive to look at. It's got a beautiful, beautiful dark wrapper. It's got a beautiful band, and it had a nice red foot band here, which also let you know that this is the Crown Vintage Red, right? Not the Crown Vintage Gold or the Crown Vintage Green. This is the Crown Vintage Red. So I'm getting a lot of, it's a big cigar, but I'm getting a lot of smooth, earthy sweetness from this cigar. There's no pepper right now present in any way. And I don't know how long they're aging their tobaccos in the Dominican Republic before they roll them into cigars. Those are questions that I asked that I didn't get firm answers to. So I chose not to include them in my video today because I need, when I get an answer from someone, from an establishment, I need to know that they're certain of it. I don't want, well, I think, or perhaps, and this is not to discredit the customer service there at all, in the least bit, because like I said, Rocco was a great guy. He was very helpful, and I thought he offered outstanding customer service. When I walked into that shop, the majority, so the shop is split into two, sort of. On the left-hand side, you've got all of the regular cigars that one would smoke. Nicaraguan, Dominican, Connecticut Shade, so forth. And then on the right-hand side, everything was flavor infused. So they do a lot of business in the flavor infused. That doesn't surprise me because we all know how successful acid has been for Drew Estate. So Rocco said, look, what kind of cigar smoker are you? He kind of sized me up. We talked a little bit. And I could tell that when I started asking certain questions, right away, he got that look in his eye like, I know what kind of smoker you are. And he said, I'm not going to show you anything on the right-hand side because all of this is flavor infused. That's not you. I'm going to take it to the left-hand side. And then there's also a mixture of products in cigars in the center of the store. And that's where they kind of keep their prime stuff or it's just some limited stuff. And there's a couple of good flavors. Because look, there's good flavored cigars as well. Okay, I said it, and I said, look, okay, fine, take me to where the promised land is, and he started showing me all of the tobaccos, cigars that he thought were incredible, and this was one of the ones that he, because I said to him, look, I want your best, because I'm gonna do a review, and this is gonna, I want to review your best cigars. So please take me to your best. And he did, and this was one of them. And man, it's shaping up to be a pretty good ride so far. I don't know what I expected, but I guess I expected, at least in this cigar, for there to be more leather and I don't know, maybe some deep chocolate notes, right? I mean, that's just from looking at it. Don't judge a book by its cover, they say. And it's not been that. It's been totally opposite. It's been smooth. It's been sweet, earthy, little nuttiness on the finish. It's been good. And so Rocco, thank you for obviously pointing me in the right direction. And I do have about 2 or 3 others that he recommended to me that I purchased and that I'm looking forward to. One of them is a Lancero, and another one is a Double Ligero. And he said, "Look, man, this is our strongest cigar here in the shop, and I love it, but it's not for everyone. And if you do smoke this one, just make sure you have a good meal before it." I know the drill, so I got you on that one. That review will be coming up before the end of the summer. So the Crown Vintage is obviously well named, but look, there is one issue that I had with the shop. So I'm just gonna say it. There's a lot of trading on the Cuban name in this shop. Lots. There were a lot of Cuban seed, Cuba this, Cuba that. And I think at one point I said, does someone here have some kind of connection to Cuba? Is the master blender Cuban? Are the owners Cuban? No, because I see a lot of the cigars with the name Cuba, or the word Cuba in them, and I think, and I've always said this, that can be very misleading to the novice smoker, thinking that you have a Cuban product, thinking that perhaps, even though it's illegal, you may have Cuban tobacco. And of course you don't, because it's illegal. But you're trading on that name. You're using Cuba as the honeydew to attract people to your cigars. And I get it. It can be a tough business, and you do what you have to do to attract customers. But I've never been in favor of attracting customers in a slightly deceptive way. And that means if your cigar, if you have heritage, if you have family, or if you yourself are Cuban, then I can understand how you might weave the Cuban experience or the Cuban name, word, into your products. I can understand that to a certain point. But just ask Abe Flores the kind of trouble he ran into when he decided, with I believe his business partner, to name the company Pinal del Rio, province in Cuba, right? It's just a place. But you name your cigars that, and all of a sudden, you have legal troubles. Oh, I can tell you this, Pinal del Rio is not Pinal del Rio anymore. It's something else, something better. Because it can be deceptive. People actually think, people that don't know, or people that are starting off, will actually think that you've got a Cuban product, that you've got Cuban tobacco, and you don't. and that's not good. It's better to stick to what you do have. And what you do have here is something good, and it's Dominican. And I say be proud of that. Your factory is in the Dominican Republic. The people you're working with are Dominicans. Good people, good hardworking people that are obviously crafting a very good product. Be proud of that. So instead of highlighting Cuban seed, Cuba this, Cuba that, how about highlighting the Dominican Republic? Because that's where your bread and butter is. So my thoughts on that. Now, this cigar has been in the humidor, I would say, for a few months now. I mean, I went to Philly sometime, I think, in July, and that would be about 2 months or so in the humidor. This has been kept at 65 to 66 RH. So you can see today's a beautiful day. 78 degrees, 50% humidity. Can't get any better for a cigar smoking experience, weather-wise. But everything hinged on whether this cigar was going to be a good cigar. It's shaping up lovely. It's not overly complex. Tons of smoke. The main flavors or notes that are driving this cigar are the sweetness and the earthiness with nuttiness on the finish. And that's pretty much been consistent from the beginning until now. There are some light cocoa notes that I have been getting on and off. There has been no pepper whatsoever. And it hasn't been aged for long enough to say to myself, perhaps the time laid down has diminished any of those intense pepper notes. So what I'm thinking here is that small amount of Nicaraguan tobacco, mainly Dominican tobacco in the filler. Can't say for sure about the binder or the wrapper, though I will seek confirmation or verification on that. The burn line has been good, then it gets a little, and it's not windy today. I think I've got 3 mile per hour winds. So it's been on and off with the burn line where I've had to correct it twice now. Not a big deal. Once I do correct it, it stays corrected for a long enough time. This will be my 3rd, right? And hopefully, if I only have 1 more after this, I'll be fine with that. Because I've had, obviously we know, you can get a cigar and go through all of the fluid in your lighter, and touch-ups might go into double digits. So if I've only got to do 3 or 4 touch-ups, I'm okay with that. Because it's delivering. I mean, for a big ring gauge cigar, it's delivering on a lot of flavor, and it's just easy going. It's just easy going here, you know. Okay, now I'm at the point in the cigar where it's ramped up a little bit in strength. It was a medium to begin with. Now it's more of a medium plus, bordering on a full-bodied cigar, but not quite there. And but it's definitely medium plus, and then maybe some as it progresses towards this stage. And I'm getting a little bit of pepper, just a little bit, getting just a little bit of leather, just a little bit, but it's still giving you that nice soft sweetness to go along with it. So it's playing out very well. This is delicious. It's been a very good experience. The aroma's been pretty good. It's not overwhelming, the aroma. It's not as strong, but it smells good. And it's got a lot of smoke output, as you can see. I'm going to recommend this one to everyone or anyone that visits Philadelphia. Definitely check them out, and definitely go for the Crown Vintage. Like I said, it comes in 3 different types: red, green, and I believe gold is the other. And gold being the lightest with a Connecticut shade wrapper, I believe. So this is just a company using really good tobacco from the Dominican Republic, and then going after a little bit of tobacco in the Nicaragua. So I recommend this cigar, and definitely check out the shop and take a picture with the big jumbo cigar like I did. And I want to thank you all for watching this cigar review. Backyard Cigars, here to tell you how I feel about cigars and my experiences with them. And I appreciate all your comments, constructive criticism included. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time on Backyard Cigars.